We don't get any money. The promoter's just like, fuck this bullshit. I'm not paying you guys. So we've been through all this crap with the cops, and we get there. We almost get killed by these skinheads. We blow up the amp, and basically, and then not get paid anything.
Worst gig ever. With your host, Geoff Garlock on Revolver. Oh.
Hello, America. Here we are, Worst Gig Ever again. I am your host, Geoff Garlock. This is Worst Gig Ever on Revolver. This is the podcast where we talk to musicians about their worst shows, how terrible it is to be in a band, and why are we doing any of this thing with our lives and wasting all of our days, but in the most fun way possible. And today we are talking to Buzz Osborne. I almost don't even have to introduce him. It's Buzz from Melvins. I mean, we've all ripped him off. That's all there is to it. I can think of at least 3 times I have ripped off his riffs, and those are just the ones I'm remembering. So he has some amazing stories. He's got one epic one that has given me many fears, and I'm going to have nightmares about it tonight, and I hope it gives you nightmares as well. So please listen to this podcast. It's an amazing episode, and we'll have some other ones coming up great in the future. We already know some good ones in the hopper, so get ready to start hopping. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just talking here. But let's keep talking to Buzz on Worst Gig Ever.
Okay, so I had this kidney stone. I was in the hospital. Went to the hospital, freaking out, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm in there, and they won't do anything until they figure it out. So then I'm laying on this gurney, just like, in this room, freaking out, just like in massive pain.
Right.
I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. No
you don't have
idea.
any stress about money at this point either. Like, just because you're in the hospital. Like,
I don't give a shit.
Okay. Like, in my mind, I'm like, would I worry about that concept?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's way beyond that.
Okay.
It's like, do whatever you have to do.
Right.
I don't care what it costs.
Right.
There's something seriously wrong. It has to be taken care of. I
Right.
don't care what I have to do.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like you're torturing. It's like you're going to sign the papers. You got to, bamboo.
Flay me alive, I don't care.
Money is nothing.
Yeah.
So what? This has got to be taken care of.
Right.
To me, it's like almost like life and death. You don't know what is wrong with
right.
you. Okay. So, they come in and give me a shot. You got a kidney stone. You're going to have to pass this thing. So they gave me, what's it called? Great. So they give me this shot of, I don't know what it was, some kind of painkiller. And I'm fucking wasted. Whoa, And then they give me a prescription for codeines, big, huge bottle of them. They go, you just take these. You're going to be passing this thing. I don't know when, but, okay, great. And I'm really wasted on this painkiller. And they go, take one of these now. So I take another. I take a codeine as well. Because I'm seriously freaked out.
Sure.
It's really bad. So then I go to the show, and then I got to play. I go. We don't cancel the show. I go back to the venue.
Yeah.
I'm fucking completely slaughtered. And I play the show.
Right.
And because the promoter was kind of freaking out. It wasn't a big show, but he was kind of freaking out because we might have to cancel it.
Right.
And so I go, we'll do it. I'm just going to go to the hospital and see what's wrong.
Right.
I didn't know that I was good. I didn't really care at that point. I mean, and so I'm wasted to do this. So then I take these codeines, and I'm so paranoid that this is going to happen again. I break them all into 4 pieces,
right.
All of them, and put them in the bottle.
Right.
And so then I just take 1/4 of one, because I could just see myself driving through South Dakota, in the middle of nowhere, and having this, out of painkiller.
Yes.
No.
Right.
Hold on to these things, and I'm going to keep them just in case something happens.
Found gold. We are not getting rid of these things.
I've got these. It'll be enough to get me into a hospital if I have to go to a hospital.
Right.
Then they told me all these things, like if it's a certain one, it can't pass. You have to get it. Oh God. So I had these things the whole tour.
Right.
And I must have passed it, but I don't know when I passed it. But I could just see something happening, so I just had these for the whole tour. Just, 3/4 of a bottle of these things. Now we're nearing the end of the tour. I was okay after that, and I still have them. I'm not taking them, And we get to Denver, played this Denver show, and then we got to play the next day in Albuquerque. It's a decent drive.
Yeah.
Pretty decent drive. So we take off, and we are in a really, a beat-up van, filthy, just us three. And so 4 weeks of tour garbage in the van. It's a filthy nightmare.
Yep. Does anyone a peer in the van? Does anyone do the pee in a water bottle?
No,
okay, good.
No one allowing that.
Thank God. Whenever I hear a band does that, I'm like, what are you doing to your life?
Pull over.
Yes.
There's bathrooms everywhere.
That's
even in the bushes.
Even in the day, it's not that
my
hard.
dog goes outside to pee.
Right. We can do this with human beings.
We can make this work.
Right.
So we get to the border between Colorado and New Mexico, and we get pulled over at a hunter's checkpoint. Pull it over.
Right.
All right. We pull in, and it's the game wardens and all these people there, and they're like, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh, we're in a band, and we did." Out of the van. Search the whole van. We have some money. It's not a tremendous amount of money, but we have some money, cash. And then they find these drugs. And so they're like, "You guys are drug dealers." And you have, I can't remember, a couple $1,000. This is your drug money from, we go, "Dude, you're not going anywhere. This is it. We're going to confiscate everything." And I go, "Oh, okay, you guys just scored. You delivered a bunch of drugs to somewhere in Colorado, and now you're doing." I'm like, "Okay, look, if we were drug dealers, you honestly think that our scam would be to load this thing with a bunch of bullshit equipment and some dirty, filthy van? If I had scored a bunch of money, and I would be flying back to L.A., or back to San Francisco."
The van is just screaming,
"What are you
pull us
talking
over
about?"
anyways.
Yeah. And so finally they go on and on. They got the drugs, and they're just like, "That's it." I just couldn't believe we're just sitting there. What else can happen? So they finally let us go. They let us go. So now we're super late.
Right.
So sat there forever, and so we race to Albuquerque, get to the show. It's some horrible show at like a youth center type thing, and it's just all skinheads. It's all skinheads. Everybody there. And the promoter's a skinhead. The people that are at the show are all skinheads. We're playing with a bunch of skinhead bands.
Yep.
And we're not skinheads. Clearly not skinhead. And so we're like, all right, set up to do the show, and they just want to kill us.
Yeah.
They just want to kill us. And so about 3 songs into our set, maybe, I blow my amp up. That just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And so now we're just like, we're going to kill you guys. And this big riot erupts while, my amp was blown up, but it was still working, but it was barely working.
Was it like,
it's just not
reduced,
not doing anything right.
Yeah.
And so we continue trying to play our set, but we're just playing quiet, which just enrages.
It's like you're playing a Marlboro pack.
It just enrages the audience because the drummer's playing quiet. We'll just play all the songs quiet. At that point, it's just totally ridiculous.
Right.
And they just want to kill us. They want to kill us, Right. And finally, this big fight erupts. And a bunch of guys get almost beat, severely beaten up.
Right.
Not us,
Sure.
But to the point where we maybe made it a third through our set, and the cops show up, and then everybody's going to go to jail, and it's just this nightmare.
Wow.
Total nightmare. And so then the promoter, we don't get any money. The promoter's just like, fuck this bullshit, I'm not paying you guys. So we've been through all this crap with the cops, and we get there, we almost get killed by these skinheads. We blow up the amp, and basically, and then get not get paid anything. And then there's this guy there, and he's like, "Oh man, I really feel sorry for you guys. This is horrible." So he goes, "I own this bakery down the street." So he takes us down to this bakery, and he opens it up, and so that was the one silver lining. He gives us
you guys go whole hog on the bakery?
I don't know if we went whole hog, but he's like, "Have what you want."
Yeah. That's very nice of him, though.
Yeah.
At least there was a nice sweet treat at the end of that terrible barrage. Yeah. That is like everything all at once.
Everything all at once. It's horrible.
At what point, do you know, just going back to this thing I'm afraid of, do you know when you passed the stone?
No, I don't remember.
I
somehow passed it.
Yeah.
Pissed it out somehow.
That's the nicest part. What were the skinheads thinking booking you?
I don't know what they were thinking.
You think they were just like a show? Like, let's fight.
Well, he had a booking agent from Minneapolis who really didn't give a shit about, I think it was just got us on the bill, whatever it was. And then we show up really late.
Yeah.
So we just load in really quickly. And
they're already stomping around, ready to...
Well, their bands were playing. So,
okay. Were there a bunch of skinhead bands?
Oh, yeah, it was all skinhead bands, skinhead people. Yeah.
Great.
God, it was horrible. We're like, just, what are we going to do now?
That's amazing. I mean, so...
Had we showed up earlier,
right,
we probably would have just said, not even unloaded.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
But at that point, you were like, all right, we're here. Yeah. Where did you end up staying that night?
I don't remember.
Okay. Not in the bakery.
I think we stayed at some hippie girl's house or something. I don't remember.
Right.
I don't remember exactly where we ended up.
We
might have went to a hotel, maybe.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of money. Like
sure.
$2,000 or something.
Yeah.
But
well, it was always the hardest. Like for me, it was always the hardest part of like making that decision. Do you go to the hotel, knowing they're going to kick you out at 11? Like, and you're like, but we don't have enough for like it's kind of an expenditure. But
that's always a concern.
Like, screw it.
That's always a concern, but
Yeah.
We would have by that point we were staying in hotels sometimes.
Right.
But not always. It was just the three of us.
Yeah.
So we could just get one room at a cheap hotel and
sure.
Out on the road somewhere.
Yeah. When you couldn't find a hotel, like what? Now I'm just thinking, but like, what was your tactic for finding a place to crash?
A lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Do you actually have a house?
Yep.
Is there actually electricity at the house?
Yep.
Is it a zoo? Is it filled with animals shitting and pissing everywhere? Is it a party house? There's a lot of. Do you have air conditioning? Do you have?
You slowly whittle
running
down.
Toilet.
Right.
Stuff like that.
And that all came, I'm sure, from experience of like, okay, we did that one.
Come on, it'll be great. And then they just want to have a party all night.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in the van.
That's always the hardest part. Like they want to have a party because that's their one night to rage. And you're like, yeah, I have 4 more weeks of this.
I'm good.
Like, I gotta go sit in a van for hours.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't have any. And now I just have zero tolerance for any of that stuff.
I'm amazed how much I did. Like it was because I would always let our singer do it because I just was like, you're charming. Like I don't want to talk to anyone. And then, but that would still end up where like, I remember we stayed on a pig farm once. Like and you could just hear the squeals all night. Like and you try to judge. I remember we found one kid who like we're like, you look normal. And then we got back and it was like just punk squat pizza everywhere.
Yeah, I just don't want to do it.
You scammed us.
Yeah. Asshole.
Yeah. It's the worst. So in like back in the day, what would you say were the averages for bad shows versus good shows?
Oh, it's about the same as like ones that are horrendous. Well, our first tour we did was all bad.
Yeah.
And we vowed to never tour again, ever.
Right.
We'll just do local stuff. I'm not going to go on the road.
Right.
Because we can't afford to lose a bunch of money, and it's just nobody cares. And it was all skinheads in like the mid '80s.
Yeah.
All skinheads everywhere you went. Here.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Right.
It wasn't for me. And then we put out an album about '88, I think, and that record for some reason did pretty good. Mm-hmm. And we had this booking agent that had to convince us that we could actually tour and not. The tide has changed.
Right.
For whatever reason, the music fans had caught up to what we were doing.
Right.
And then it was fine.
Yeah.
But until then, we really had to be convinced. I am not going to go out on the road. I think it's a really bad idea for bands to do it.
Yeah.
To go out and play to nobody or lose a bunch of money. I was never in a position to be able to do that.
Sure.
If I didn't have hundreds of dollars, I could just blow on some bullshit, playing to Tennessee to nobody, A
glorified hobby that
couldn't make it work.
Money on.
No, we live in California, and I've told bands this tons of times. Like, if you can't, California has 3 major cities and a bunch of places to play. Mm-hmm. If you can't make it work in that environment where you're only 6 hours away from home, you can't make it work by driving to Delaware.
Right.
It's not going to work.
You're not pulling it out of Baton Rouge.
And how many people take that advice? None. It never fails. They'll do it anyway.
Got to go play a garage in
I'm going to do it. We'll just go. I'm just like, man, I've been down that road. Yeah. Don't do it.
Just know if we road dog it,
don't do it.
It's going to work out in the end.
If you can't make any money or make ends meet playing L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, and everywhere else, you can probably do 15 shows in California.
Right.
That'd be like here in New York. If you can't make it work within a 8-hour radius of here, you can't make it work.
Yeah, 100%. But people just don't listen.
They don't listen.
Sometimes I think I didn't listen.
Forget it.
So do some chores. I'd be like, why did I not listen to myself?
Yeah.
I mean, with all that, like, so in all these bad shows, though, too, like, I was just thinking, because I was thinking about this when we were talking to someone else the other day, too, like, so you've been doing this with Dale for
Long time. Since 84, 85.
Which is, very long time, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep the magic alive in, like, not wanting to kill each other? Like, knowing there are going to be times where you probably want to, but, like, thinking about, like, I was in a band with one of my oldest friends for 15, 20 years total. And that, like, at a certain point, we wanted to murder each other. We were like an old married couple. Like, if we ate at a Thai restaurant in the middle of Michigan, it would just be silent. Just nothing.
No, we don't have that. We don't really argue about anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we don't have that kind of problem.
Is that why it works? Or you think one of the reasons it's worked?
No, we're not. We get along really well, and
right.
And I run a lot of the show, and he just agrees.
Right.
With whatever I want. So Dale and I get along really well. Mm-hmm. So we've never really had any blowouts.
Right.
Not ever.
I mean, that's good. I mean, that's a rare thing.
We've had them with other people,
right?
But not with us,
right? But then you rotate out with other people.
Yeah, that has happened.
Right.
We've never stopped playing with people because we didn't like the way they played. It was always personal issues,
right?
In one form or another.
Well, not
all of them are good.
I think that's part of why because like that's the heart. Like people who don't play music don't like consider that. It's like, why wouldn't you just be playing music forever? It's like, well, because it's hard. It's hard to figure out the right dynamic. It's hard to be like, we're going to be in a van or a bus together for a very long time, and you'd have to just agree on where to go, where to it
rarely happens.
Yeah, and it's just the day to day is boring a lot of times in a tour. I
can deal with that. You just have to be able to write your own ship all the time. I mean, I'm not a scoutmaster,
Sure.
It's like you deal with yourself. If you have a tour freak out because of that, then you've really lost your way.
Yeah.
You've forgotten why you're here.
Right.
And we have a singular purpose.
Right.
I'm not here for vacation.
Yeah.
I'm here to work.
Yeah.
And I've decided that a long time ago.
Is that how
decades ago?
Yeah. Is that how you kind of have been able to push through bad tours or good tours because you just know you have that this is what we do. It's the work ethic.
We don't have bad tours. We haven't had bad tours in a long time.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Right.
Not since about 93.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's only because we keep it really simple.
Yeah.
And we are really good at planning.
Yeah.
And I'm here to work. I've never been to New York City where I wasn't working.
Sure.
Not ever.
Right.
I've never been to Europe when I wasn't working. I've never been anywhere.
Right.
I can't imagine doing that.
Did you always have a work ethic like that? Just even before bands?
I've worked since I was a teenager, early teens, only because I needed money.
Yeah.
My family were not in a position to hand out dough to me, and they had their own problems, and were busy making ends meet on their own. They certainly weren't, shelling out money in my way was not part of the equation.
Right.
And that's
you didn't
not their
decide
fault.
to have a work ethic. You had a work ethic because that's how you lived.
I wanted to work.
Yeah. There was no other option.
But last job I had was in the 80s,
and
it was working at a pizza place, and I would do 38 days in a row, stuff like that.
Right.
I could never understand why people took time off and you needed money.
Right.
Weekend? What are you talking about? I need to work.
Yeah. Did you hate the pizza place, or did you just
I never liked any job.
Yeah.
I ever had. I never had a good job.
Right.
But what difference does that make?
Right.
Who said that was how? I mean, people think I'll be a lawyer. Well, it's lawyers get paid a decent amount of money because it's shit work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit work. Yeah. You're not gonna like it,
and you have to be a lawyer.
That's
you have to be stuck for the rest of your life.
You want to get paid, $40 an hour to do the job of the guy who owns a company, because he's made the company work, and you're going to do the work. That's fine.
Right.
But it's not just going to be an automatic guarantee of anything.
Right.
No one owes you anything, and no one is going to. Well, you're going to get paid a lot of money for doing something that you really love to do, and there's not going to be any problems. That's bullshit.
Right.
It's never going to happen under any circumstance.
That's the Xanadu.
And you cannot get rich or successful by only working 40 hours a week.
Right.
It is not possible. I know no situation where that has ever happened.
Right.
There are people who clock in and clock out at 9 to 5, and they make a decent amount of money, but they're not rich or successful. Mm-hmm. It's not possible. It is not possible. I don't know where people get this idea. You know?
The American myth of the lottery. That we're all going to, like, the lottery of life, the lottery of career, the lottery of, like, I'll be the one that's the, you know.
I guess it could happen. I mean, you know,
That's the thing. It could.
$million dollars could fall out of the sky,
Right.
and we catch it in our hands for some reason and pay the tax on it, and then, you know, it's just bullshit.
I remember even in film school, knowing like I was wasting my time in film school, but there would be the people who had the Quentin Tarantino dream, where they'd be like, yeah, if I just work in a video store, I'll write that one script that everybody loves. And I'm like, yeah, that's that one guy. And then there's everyone else who has to work for the union. Like, and you have to work every single day.
If you don't like what you're doing, you should make something else happen.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah, that's up to you to figure out.
The most successful guys I know, they're self-made. They were not born into money or anything like that. None of them went to college.
Right.
Not one.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly feel like I wasted my time there.
Not one guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know guys that have went to college that have decent jobs, but they're not anywhere close to as successful.
Right.
That doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but college sets you up to do something in a routine that basically makes it to where you will be nothing more than mediocre. That's it.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
That's
Might
it.
as well go on tour.
A massive, mediocre life.
Right.
You know, get you used to sitting in the cubicle and taking orders. You know, I mean, it's amazing to me. They talk about how, you know, oh, well, you need to go to college to get a good job. Okay, well, the government had you in government schools for 12 fucking years, and you're telling me that as a result of that, at the end of that, you're an unemployable moron.
Right. Right.
Well,
then
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
We need to
why are we
reevaluate this
wasting our
12 years.
time?
Right.
You know? Well, then if you just have 4 more years of free government school, it's like, it's nutty.
Right.
You
So
know?
is that work? So I mean, obviously that work ethic is why there's so many Melvins records, and there's so many other and so many versions that, like, you know.
Yep, that's it. I mean, it's like you have to make this happen.
Right.
No one owes me anything.
Right.
I don't take any of it for granted. I never have.
Right.
Just because you work hard doesn't mean it's going to work.
Yeah.
But what do? You keep your head down, you keep working, you keep moving forward. You let other people decide whether they like it or not.
Right.
You don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah.
You just do what you think is
It's
right.
not meritocracy. It's
Life is not fair.
Yeah, apparently. It's a bummer.
Well, these bands are so good and they work so hard. Well, you know, I mean, maybe they weren't good. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Right.
Maybe they did things wrong somehow, you know?
Yeah. So it probably, you know, it feeds into that, but, like, you know, what do you do when you have, like, a shit day of writing? Like, you know, like a day where it's just not.
That's most of the days.
Most days, yes.
Yeah, until you walk through it all, you're not going to find. It's like panning for gold.
Yep.
You move a ton of earth to find one little tiny thing.
Right.
Most of what you're going to do in that situation is just garbage.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. But unless you do that amount of it, you're not going to have anything.
Yeah. Did you always recognize that?
Yes.
Just mostly, like, I teach sketch comedy, like, and most of the students ask that all the time. It's just like, well, like, kind of like, how many sketches do I have to write?
Thousands?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, an insane amount
Every day?
And I was like, most of the things I write are garbage.
Yes.
And
70% of your waking hours
Yeah.
should be devoted to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and the look on their faces is just like, what? Like, I thought after this class I'd know what to do. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, you wasted your money. That, like, you know, but, like, that's it. Like, you know, did you always recognize that and just like, okay, yeah, you just have to kind of push through it?
I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me.
Right.
I didn't expect anything to work.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, I think that's the plus, because I think a lot of people don't recognize that part. Like, that part you just threw in of, like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people forget that part.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because it is hard. Like, everything is hard. And so at a certain point, people, like, forget about the fun part and the part that you have a desire to do it.
You can't be jealous of other people's success.
Right.
You can't be.
Right.
You can't be. I never fault anyone for having money, you know, or making money. I fault them for being boring, but I don't fault them for being successful.
Sure.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, especially, they don't understand that the government sets you up to be jealous of people that have more than you because it gives them power. Because then you have to look to them to save you.
Yeah.
And they don't care about you. All they care about is themselves. Them having the power over you.
Yeah.
You know,
Lifestyles
why do
of
we
rich and
run to the
famous.
why do we run to the government every time something is wrong?
Right.
They can't fix anything.
Yeah. There's a way I've been. Yes, I'm sure a lot of us have been having. I've been having some conversations, especially with family, with that, where I'm just like, I don't know. You love the president? That's a weird thing, anyways.
I don't love any president.
Yeah, like that's. I was like, and they'll be like, oh, but you want to vote for this or this? I'm like, when did you ever? Like, also, when did you love corporations? When did you think corporations cared about you? Like this crazy logic that we're like a part of a unified.
The government's the worst corporation of all of them.
Right. They went so hard.
They make no money.
I know.
All they do is leech it off of other people.
Right.
That's worse.
Yeah.
At least Apple is providing you with something.
Yeah. The very least, I got this.
You don't have to buy it.
Right.
But you have to pay taxes. You have to do all the... No. They're just wrong.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Who speaks for me? What political party would speak for me?
Right.
The pro-abortion, pro-death penalty guy that I am. Which is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I would vote for them, but they're not there, so.
It's really funny. I'll have conversations with people about like Jello Biafra or people like that. And we should decriminalize drugs. I go, I'm right there with you. We should decriminalize all of it. Now that includes antibiotics, eye medicine. Well, I don't know about antibiotics. Oh, you want to decriminalize cocaine?
Right.
But you don't. You think I need a prescription to get eye medicine?
Right.
What are you talking about?
It's under lock and key.
Well, we shouldn't let people have antibiotics. You should be able to buy whatever you want to.
Right.
And guess what will happen? It will all get cheaper.
Right. Well, there you go. There's
It'll all get cheaper. Now, if I want to go down and take, anabolic steroids or whatever it is, that's my decision.
Right.
You shouldn't be able to tell me I can't do it.
Right.
And if I want to take these drugs without a doctor's prescription or a doctor's advice on it, that's your business.
Yeah.
They can't stop me from drinking myself to death on tequila.
Right. I know.
That's amazing. And people will, that's just libertarian thinking. No, it isn't. It's just common sense.
Right.
I'm not I'm not a libertarian.
Right.
I'm far more classically liberal than that.
Sure.
Whatever. It's real liberalism.
Yeah.
People can't handle that.
It's the far left and the far right just end up circling back.
It's no different to me.
Holding hands.
Neither one of them speak for me.
Yeah. And it's just like, hey, I don't know, man. Just do you.
Whatever. How many people don't understand that socialism is in the word Nazi?
Right. Going back to skinheads.
Like, it's not for me.
Right.
It's not for me. None of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, and so I think that kind of attitude and just realizing things of how in my own weird way, I have an odd way of looking at all of it. Mm-hmm. I don't look at any of it along with anyone else.
Right.
No one speaks for me. No one, I don't follow anyone. No one's a guru for me.
Right.
Nobody. This thing is what I believe, and that's how I'm going to go. I'm going to vote along party lines. I'm going to do. That's just crazy to me. It doesn't speak to me at all.
I think that also, again, that helps going back to, it probably helps us with the focus. You're just because then you're just doing stuff. You're doing what you do.
I'm on my own.
Or I'm
going to make this work.
You're an island.
Yes, that's it. You are an individual. And we need to embrace our individuality. Mm-hmm. Much more so than is being done.
Yeah.
I'm not part of your party. I'm not part of your herd. I don't want to come to your parties.
Right.
I have no interest in any of that.
Right.
If that's what I have to do to make this work, then I will find another way to do it.
Sure.
But I do not belong. I do not belong.
Right.
There's no brother bands for us. Right. None. Who? Who would it be?
Right.
Alice in Chains.
Right.
Pearl Jam. None of these people speak for me.
Well,
none of them.
That speaks to something else. Obviously people have talked about the Seattle thing forever.
Right.
But, I've been thinking about it, and it came up, again, the last time, the idea, my band Panthers existed, and now there's, an oral history of the Brooklyn rock explosion already from 2000, 2011. And I read it the other day, and I was like, I was there, and
yeah, I don't remember it that way.
I don't remember it that, They were talking about my practice space, and there are all these prostitutes outside of it, and it was like a war zone. And I was like, I was fine. They had a vegan chicken salad sandwich that I would eat around the corner. But did you feel that when all that came, basically when that started happening, I started being oh right, probably when they were talking about Seattle, when they talked about any scene. In retrospect, I'm it wasn't the thing that was created. It's just a happenstance of these bands kind of were in the same area for whatever reason. Like, did you feel that way too? Like, about
at the time?
That bullshit that was happening?
At the time, no, I didn't think it was anything.
Yeah.
I like the people.
Sure.
I like the guys at Soundgarden. I like the guys in Mudhoney.
Right.
And quite a few other people.
Right.
I liked a lot of other bands that no one talks about.
Yeah.
At all, that didn't get anywhere or quit before.
Right.
But we left California, or left there for California in like 86, 87.
Yeah.
And started over. Like, we completely started over in a new environment.
I think that's part of the weird, like, kind of rewriting, because you'll still get thrown in there.
Always.
And it's just like, but I don't think they weren't even there.
They weren't even there.
Like,
we started the entire thing over. I started my entire life over.
Right.
That was my plan.
Right.
You know?
I mean,
started over completely and did better.
Right.
Starting over in a completely new state.
Right.
Than we ever did in Washington State.
Right.
You know, that's the truth. When we got there, when we lived in Washington, no one wanted to put a record out with us. Mm-hmm. We had one label that wanted to. We did a little 7-inch, but it went out of business immediately. Right. None of those people had any interest in us doing anything for them.
Right.
We weren't getting big shows. We played some shows, you know,
sure.
with some decent bands, traveling bands, but we never got paid any money to speak of. We didn't really leave anything. When we moved to California, went to San Francisco, we immediately started getting decent shows, almost immediately. With a new bass player.
Right.
We immediately got a record deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it just happened, like, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Nothing. What was different?
Right.
We weren't any different.
Yeah.
Me and Dale were the same as we were before.
Right.
It's just that we were embraced in a way there that we never were in Washington State.
Right.
And it branched out from there. As soon as we went back to Washington, we did a lot better.
Right.
It was the weirdest thing.
I think it's just so odd that
the best thing we could have done was move.
Right. People's desire to mythologize certain. It's just that feeds into kind of the American thing. It's just like there was this thing and there was a uprising. And again, like when I think of like Brooklyn, like I'm like, yeah, everyone graduated from college or dropped out at that point. I don't know. It just happened that we all moved at the same time. But like the shows where it's not like we all like I hung out by myself and just played in a practice space.
Yeah.
And I think it's just interesting that it's just like it doesn't stop. People will continue to just be like, here's a new scene, here's a new.
They'll remember it their own way.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to correct it.
Right.
No one will believe it anyway.
Right.
Doesn't matter. I've had people like Nirvana biographers tell me I was wrong about all kinds of things.
Like, I was there. I'm telling you.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because we haven't had that kind of success that all those other bands had,
right?
Like, you know, millions of records. We don't get that. We don't get that same respect,
right?
With that money comes respect,
right?
That's how it works.
Right.
That's how it always has worked.
Sure.
You know, and when you don't have it, and you say anything that's not exactly what they want to say, you're jealous. Mm-hmm. You are just shitting on it because you didn't get famous. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
That's nothing. I don't care about any of that.
Right.
I do my job.
Right.
And the rest of this is, you know, you guys dream this up, not me. And the one thing I can be sure of that's happened is I will outlast you.
Right. Yeah.
You'll be doing something else.
Right.
I'll still be doing what I'm doing. We have not stopped.
Right.
You know, so.
When you mentioned before about like opening for some bigger bands that gave you kind of rules of what not to do. Like, what did it make you realize? Like, you know, I also think about like we're in Irving right now.
Yeah.
And I once played a show here. We opened for Primal Scream, and ended up being one of the worst shows because it was one of those deals where it was like their crew was terrible. You mentioned that they were just jerks.
Right.
We somehow played the smallest stage we've ever played because they refused to move any of their equipment. So it just made this weird little, like, U shape that I was like, okay, I guess I'll just play an upright bass today. And it was just, like, playing that. And then they were like, oh, you'll be much better tomorrow. And I was like, we're just playing tonight. We're not on tour with you. Like, they didn't know what was going on. Like, what did you take away from opening for
we had
bigger bands?
Some good experiences, but it wouldn't be from where you think.
Right.
You know? Like, we had a really good experience with Kiss. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not.
Right.
You know? People can say what they will about them. They were super nice to us. They couldn't have been nicer. And we had a lot less of an exciting experience with much lower level fuckhead bands.
Right.
You know? That we didn't have much, that we couldn't do much about.
Right.
And I realized pretty quickly, we did that for a while. We did that probably until about, I don't know, the late 90s, a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't want to sell the band like that.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Did you ever feel like you were wasting your time on those?
No.
Mostly I ask because, like, and I wonder if sometimes when you see, like...
There's some shows that were a waste of time.
Yeah. Like, I remember seeing Phantomos with Tool.
Yeah.
But it's just more, like, because the way, like, wherever I think it was MSG or whatever, like, you know, they have everyone coming in, like, while you're playing. Or I remember going to see Big Business when there were two, and they were just like, yeah, people just kind of filter in, and then we'll leave after.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You counter a tour like that with another tour.
Right.
You know, and they do work.
They do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You're corralling fans for the future. It does work to some degree. But after a while, I got sick of it.
Sure.
We do a little of that sort of thing now, but it has to be under the right circumstances.
Right.
You really have to want to do it. You have to be fairly treated money-wise.
Right.
Or I just don't care about it.
Yeah. What about Kiss worked? They were just super. What about Kiss worked for you?
They've always been super nice.
Yeah.
They've been the main guys.
Yeah.
You know, Paul and Gene have never been anything other than super nice.
Mm-hmm.
They could not be nicer. And, like, they're what I would consider, like, a true traditional rock star.
Yeah.
Like a real rock star. Like, you know, Jimmy Page type of, you know, they're big, millions and millions and millions and millions of records are, you know, huge band for years and years. And they didn't have to treat us like that.
Right.
They don't have to do that. No one has to do it.
Right.
So,
but partly one of the reasons they're still who they are.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that they were cool. So that just makes me hate these other people more.
Sure. Well, because then you see, I'm sure you see these bits where you're just like, you were just waiting for this. You were like champing at the bit to be an asshole. Like you were like waiting when you're small.
They're always that way.
And now they just have a way to feed the asshole even more.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Nine Inch Nails people were pretty cool to us. They were pretty cool. The Tool people were pretty cool to us.
Yeah.
But
I heard they were nice.
You can fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The rest of it.
Yeah. I think. So also, I had mentioned before, like we played a show together, and it was a sponsored show. It was a Scion sponsored show at South by Southwest.
Scion were nice to us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, so is it kind of the same deal? If you can get a sponsorship and they're not jerks, will you work it? Or like, because I know for us, like, so that show was great. Like, we were not at any level where they needed to get us a hotel room for each of us and fly us down there, but they did, and I was like, okay. And then we did another tour after that where like our label got Sparks to sponsor the whole tour. Do you remember Sparks?
The band?
No, not the band. Sadly, it was that. It was a energy drink malt liquor mix.
A poor man's speedball?
Yes, exactly. And that's what everyone said it felt like, because I don't drink. So it would just show up. Yeah, I had once when I was a kid, but it would show up in every venue. It would just have piles of Sparks. They wouldn't have water for us sometimes, just because they'd have Sparks there to drink. Everyone's just fucked up beyond belief nonstop.
And awake.
Yeah, and just like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And I think we got like, enough to cover our tour manager. Like, it wasn't worth it to be covered in Spark swag everywhere.
We've never had that come up.
Right.
Like I don't pursue those sorts of things.
Sure.
And we don't sell many. They're people that would do that, like a company that would do that, is better suited pursuing a bigger band.
Right.
Why would you bother with us?
Well,
that's what I could never figure out with Scion.
Yeah. We're
not going to sell you any cars.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I remember weirdly talking to someone from Vice, and he was like, "You think it doesn't work, but the demographic of extreme metal dudes."
It's bullshit.
He's like, that 1 year, they bought a little bit more of cars.
Yeah, but how much did it cost them?
That's the thing. I was like,
are they doing it now? No. Right. Guess why?
Yeah.
What did I say from the beginning? At some point, an accounts department is going to look at this.
Right.
They probably earmarked $6 million, or whatever it is, for them to do their little experiment. And I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah.
Do I think every company should do that? I don't know.
Probably not, though.
Not for me to decide. Good for them for trying.
Yeah.
And I had a perfectly good experience with them.
Yeah.
Perfectly good.
But you were in a bad mood that day?
No. The South by Southwest people I have had not a good experience with.
Yeah.
And I think things like that are a waste of time.
Yeah.
And they were total fuckheads about us doing that show with Scion.
Oh, really?
Totally. Well, then you have to come and do a thing for South by Southwest where you don't get paid. And I was like, okay, let me get this straight. So you think it's okay for me ethically to take their money and come over and then at the same time do something for you for free? I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my show, and I'm going to schedule a plane as second I can get out of here. Do you understand that? You know, because I don't care about you.
Right.
I think you guys are a bunch of jerks. If this is what you have to do to be involved in this whole thing, why do I want to go and see somebody play the Doritos stage? I don't care. If that's what it takes, I don't even understand it. It makes no sense to me.
Now, okay, you're not playing the camel side stage if you do this.
And that's the only time I've ever been there.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I was there. I did an acoustic show, not at South by Southwest, at another party, but acoustic show record thing. And then, but I was amazed at how many, when you're walking around town looking at bands playing in these empty parking lots.
Yeah.
It's nobody.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a waste of time.
We once did one where it was like, they're like, you're going to do the whole 8 to 10 shows. Yeah, at least half of them were the empty parking lot.
I just don't think
playing
it's
on
worth
a
it.
Dimebag Darrell crate mini amp that they wouldn't provide anything else. And you're
I
like,
just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care enough. If that's what I have to do,
can we not play this one? And no, you got to play this one.
If that's what I have to do, I'm just not going. I'll find another way to
Yeah.
do it. It doesn't involve that.
Which is another way how you're able to keep doing it. Is you stop doing the shit that doesn't matter, and you don't want to.
You make mistakes,
Yeah.
But I'm into the silent thing. We're not in a position to turn down a decent amount of money.
Sure.
But those kinds of things don't come up. They're as rare as hen's teeth. You know.
I mean,
there's not corporations coming up and going. I mean, I wish I could say we won't do a corporate gig. Well, we don't get offered corporate gigs.
Right.
It's easy to say you won't do shit that you're not getting offered.
We did get offered a Lockheed Martin thing once.
I don't pursue that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a manager or
Yeah.
anything like that or anybody looking. So,
Yeah.
But I would be hesitant to do it.
Sure.
I've always came up with good ones like for a band like Tool. It should be Testers, Glue, and Robitussin present, Tool,
Nuclear brand laxative. It's Tool.
You can hand out Testers Glue and a bag of glue and Robitussin to the kids, That seems like that's the target audience.
Yeah, I agree. So, Buzz, this is great. These are a lot of bad show, especially that first one was terrible.
Oh, God, it was horrible.
And I'm still, again, living in fear.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh, God damn it.
Don't eat hamburgers. No, I don't know what it is. I think it's genetic.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I'm hoping. But just the last question I always ask, what do you think of the word gig?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay, good.
I think that doesn't bother me.
Good.
Try not to get hung up on things that don't make much difference.
Perfect. That's the perfect answer to that question. Buzz, thank you so much.
Thank you.